Welcome back to Nashville Unsigned. We are hanging out on the fluffy, luxurious, with amazing pillows, red couch. We're Vanna White in this red couch right now. That was the sexiest thing ever. You're welcome, guys. We are hanging out with Class 10 AV, which AV Songs is how you're found on socials, right?
Yeah.
And AV, where'd that come from?
So my first name's Allison, my middle name's Victoria.
Ah.
I got made fun of for my last name growing up, so I was like, Void. And then my mentor in Chicago, he always called me AV, and then it just kind of stuck.
When did you get to Nashville?
I got to Nashville in 2011. I went to Belmont, so I came to Nashville to go there, and I've kind of been here on and off for like the past 7 years.
And so you do some live stuff with a bodysuit and some stilettos or something.
Oh yeah, I love heels, but I also love being comfortable. So
Me too.
I'm like sweatpants and heels, or for my single release, I wore like workout pants and heels, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?"
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, you have a new single out.
I do.
Which is your debut single.
Yes.
And we were just like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is different. It's on the forefront of Nashville's pop scene, which is booming right now.
It is, yeah.
And what made you get into, like, start the AV project?
So I've kind of, it's like the longest story, but I mean, I was kind of releasing, so I was actually signed to an indie label when I was in high school, and it was very short-lived, and so I actually went by Alice in Wonderland way back in the day. But so that was short-lived, and then when I got to college, a lot of people at Belmont and in Nashville were like, pop music's never going to be a thing, like, you should just be a songwriter.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a while. I was like, okay, yeah, cool, they're right, I suck, I'm just going to write songs. And so I did that for a while. Like, I had all these songs that weren't doing anything, and I'm like, I'm spending so much time writing these songs and putting my like life into these songs, and nobody's ever gonna see them, and I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna start releasing stuff. So yeah,
exactly.
That's kind of how that
So
started.
you took a little bit of a hiatus, and you have such an inspirational story, and I definitely want to make sure that we touch on this. But you took a little bit of a hiatus, so tell us why.
So right before I started college, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I mean, they kind of predicted like that I would have trouble relearning how to play guitar and how to speak and how to walk, and so I was kind of preparing myself for that life if I never believed in a God before I do now, because I woke up from surgery talking, or the first thing I said was, get me a fucking cheeseburger. I'm starving, because you have to fast before surgery.
Yeah.
And then I had a crazy recovery. Every school we called, they said no, except for Belmont, which is how I ended up in Nashville.
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy to me, because I never really pictured myself in Nashville.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was difficult, you know, freshman, sophomore year, like, I knew how to talk.
Yeah.
But I talked very slowly, and I could not comprehend conversations for the life of me. Like, classes, you know, teachers, like, get up the first day, get up, introduce yourself. And I just sat there because I'm like, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And everyone thought it was, like, a joke.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, like, I don't understand what's going on.
So they had to remove a portion of your brain, correct?
Mm-hmm. It's so funny because
I
joke
on your
about
Twitter.
it. Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I have
my bio.
4/5
of my brain.
4/5 of my brain.
Yeah, I joke about it, and some people are like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually really funny.
Yeah,
and they're like,
if anybody should be uncomfortable, it's me.
Yeah. Then I'm like,
you're like, and I'm not. So I'm making light of it. To hear like a comeback story like that, and to fight through, and to still be able to play music and do your thing, it's so inspirational. So you are just a badass. We gotta pound it again.
Thank you.
And so I fished a little bit of stuff out you on Twitter. You put birthday cake on your ex's door.
Oh my god.
That is a hell of a ex like thing to do. Like, I applaud you.
That's not even the
worst. You
worst.
for that.
That's like middle school Allison. Well, the birthday cake was one. There was another one. A guy that I was seeing in LA, he called me Gummy Bear, and he was not nice to me. And so I was like, well, I went to the store with my cousin who's from San Diego. We bought 5 1-pound bags of gummy bears.
And you melted it on his car.
Lick them and stick them.
Yes!
And
I bet it ruined the paint.
I don't know what it is, but I also, and I kind of regret this, but he gave me this, like Alexander Wang apparently is like, I'm not really into designer, but it's like some expensive clothes.
I've heard about it. I don't own anything.
Yeah, I cut it up. And everyone's like, what? You could have sold that. I cut it up and I just like left it on his like little front porch.
You're feisty. When's your birthday?
March 27th. I'm an Aries.
Oh, that's why. I love it. So our last question is W812D. So what have you learned, dude?
I would say the two most important things that I remind myself of, and also a lot of my friends who are artists and just humans in general, the first thing is to be kind to everyone.
Yeah.
Because you never know what anybody is going through. And even so, you know, I've heard people, well, if somebody disrespects you, I'm like, you can remove yourself from any situation that you're being disrespected or mistreated without being unkind. Yeah. There's always a way.
Dignity.
Whether you look like the weaker person or whatever, like there's always a way to remove yourself from those situations and not be an unkind or a cruel person. So that's number one. And number two is something that I'm learning to grow into is, and I've heard so many of my favorite artists say it, but as an artist, especially an independent artist, you know, it's really hard to be in a community where there's every single person is talented. Yeah. So you're like, I need to do this better, or maybe I'm not good enough. But if you kind of create your own little universe and thrive in your own universe, you know, don't sit there and stalk social media and compare yourself. But
it's good to have community around you and all, and it's good to have music community around you, but there's this really fine line between comparison and collaboration, and sometimes they like butt heads. And so the key is just to know where that's at and to go after like being able to dump yourselves in other people, but to also keep your head down and stay focused. Like have your own milestones and have your own goals. So when it comes down, when comparison kicks in, you just your eyes just shift down and you just go after your milestones. So good point, man. Killing it, lady, killing it. She is such a boss. This is AV. AV Songs, or I am AV Songs. AV Songs on all things social media. We'll sync her up. Thank you so much for being here. She is such a badass. Go follow her. We love you guys. We're out.
You know you want to. Subscribe!